So we've got stuff and things everywhere. We'll start with this. This one, that's a standard CV shaft out of the front of a Brumby. Now, this is what needs to go into the Liberty hub, but at the other end it's only got 23 splines instead of 25, so that's not going to work. So we need something that's similar length to that. Now this one is out of the Liberty. Now it's got 25 splines in the end, and it's got the right hub on the end, this end here, but it's too long by about 50 mils, so that's not going to work either. That is the shaft out of the Brumby. Now these ends are only 23, where the ends of this shaft are 25, so I can't just put these ends onto the Brumby shaft because that would be too simple. So what I've got here is a brand new reproduction for I think it was about an 88 Subaru Leone RX Turbo, I think, but it's got 25 spline in the end. The shaft is 25 spline. This end is wrong, so I've got to pull this end off of this shaft, pull this end off this shaft, and put that into there, and it should hopefully be the right length. If it's not, then I'm going to pull even more of my hair out. But that's a future bit. The other things we've got on the table are this, which is a McPherson strut out of a 95 GC8 WRX impreza. I couldn't use the Liberty ones that I had because the coils were too big, but this bottom should bolt straight onto the Liberty hub. The only problem is this top piece, well, that's got 3 bolts where the Brumby only had 2. So what I've done there is I've ordered 2 of these. Now that is out of a Mitsubishi Evo 2 and 3. I'll leave part number in the bottom for that, but that's got the right stud spacing that fits straight into the Brumby strut tower. Now this bearing is the same as the Liberty one, so I'm hoping it's exactly the same as what's in here. So all I've got to do, use the trusty old scary spring compressors, compress this down, pull that top off, straight away put this top back on, put it all back together, and then I should be able to get suspension under the car. I think we're going to need a little bit of a clean up first. It's always important when using these to actually oil them, because there's a lot of pressure on these threads and you want it to move as easy as possible. So this one's had a fairly hard life. I assume that it hasn't been oiled every time. It's not necessary to oil them, but it will make them last longer. So that's loose now. Now it's safe to take the nut off the top. Alright, first look. Alright, so this bearing here and this bearing here have exactly the same part number on them, which is a good thing. So, what we're going to do now, reassemble. So, there. Alright. There we have it. One McPherson strut to suit a Brumby with Liberty hubs. Bench upgrade complete. I've got the ends off now. Just got to clean all the old grease out of this because it's fairly old. And then put this onto the end of the new shaft with some fresh grease in it and see how it goes for fitment. Alrighty then. After pulling them apart and spending a bunch of time washing all the old oil out of this one, I've realised that that's a 25mm 25 spline, where this has a 27mm 25 spline. Now, this one is a 27mm 25 spline, same as this, so this will fit onto this shaft. Unfortunately, it sticks out a bit further, so I'm not actually shortening the shaft as much using this one. The other thing is, this grommet is not the right size to fit over this. And the last problem is, I've got no idea what this one is actually out of, because I've pulled apart that many CV shafts that, well, I'm not sure what it came from. So, if I put this on and it works, I've got to get a new boot. But that's a minor thing. Anyway, I'll put this on to the end of this and see if it fits in the car. Yes, pulling my hair out, because after all that, the new shaft, which was looking so promising, is now only 10mm shorter than a standard Liberty shaft. I needed about 50mm shorter. So what I'm going to do is take this out and test fit it to the vehicle along with the new strut and the Liberty hub and see what happens. If this doesn't go in, then so be it. At least I'll be able to put some wheels under the front. If I put these ends into the hubs, I'll be able to run it in two-wheel drive just to move it around, but it's not good for the gearbox. So yeah, let's go outside and test fit this. Alright, let's see if this works. That's not looking promising just yet. Give it. Alright. That's pretty much seated all the way in. It's not going to go anywhere near the ball joint. So at this point, I'm just going to pull the shaft out because it's too long. I'm going to put the ball joint in place, bolt a wheel on because I haven't had a wheel on this thing yet. That's pretty much sitting at standard ride height for a Brumby, so I'll try and get some super low springs for it and see how low we can go. There's not much else I can do here. Pity about the drive shaft. Oh well. At least it's actually sitting on a wheel. Hasn't done that for a very long time, so I can be happy about that. I know what would make me feel better about all this. I told you, if this shaft didn't work, I'd be pulling my hair out. So, back to the drawing board. I might cut this shaft out here somewhere, fit this section onto the gearbox, fit this section into the hub, and then measure exactly how much shorter this needs to be. And then ring up the company that makes these ones and say, hey, can you just make me a Liberty shaft that's this long? 2 of them even. So, on the bright side, I've got all the suspension in, and I finally got to fit one of my GT Liberty alloys that I've been hoarding away for like 7 years. So, that's it for today's video. Time for me to go get a proper haircut, and as always, customize everything.